What is up, my good people? Happy to be here with you, hanging out where sports meets life. Wow, that's an intro. Feels good after you stay up, for an ungodly amount of hours making sure you can bring something like that to the table. So I hope you're all doing well. I want to thank God for all of the ideas and for keeping me awake. It's been a minute, so I edit all the time, but it has been a minute since I can say that I edited until like 4:30 in the morning. And those bring me back to my Marywood days. And I remembered last night, sitting there at Marywood until I think it was like 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, okay, I got to go to bed. And I walked out of the old video editing rooms and the sliding door opened and there was dew outside, kind of like today. And I saw 3 deer. And they looked at me, and I looked at them, and I said, I come in peace. I'm exhausted. I'm not going to bother any of y'all. Y'all don't bother me. And we didn't. We had a good time. They went about their merry way. Good morning to you. Big time happy July to everybody out there. And happy 4th. For those of you that didn't know, the 4th of July is tomorrow. I know because my neighbors have been blowing off fireworks for 2 days. So, happy 4th of July coming up. Very excited to be here with you. You know that on Saturday, we unveiled on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Saturday, July 1st was a massive day for me. It was history upon history upon history. The breaking exclusive news that we had been holding on to, and that is that Alfred University, hence the Saxon wearing all over the place, Alfred University Saxons are the newest exclusive multimedia marketing partner of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. First time I'll ever have a school with 28 sports programs. First time that I will have an exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, a football team, a women's rugby team, and equestrian teams, which I'm very excited about all this. In Western New York, we have reached out and branded out too, so I'm very, very much excited. So today, in hour number 2, our Saxons Spotlight segment. The Saxons will be part of the weekly broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we're going to jump things off with the president of Alfred University. Mark Zupan is going to be joining me today for our special from our signing. Also, the big news is that Lemoyne officially is D1. The Lemoyne D1 day was Saturday, July 1st. It was move-in day for the Lemoyne Dolphins. Those of you know that have been to college, what move-in day feels like. So we just had move-in day and had a bunch of exclusives, including my conversation with Bob Beretta amidst all the construction that's going on at Lemoyne College. And for the past couple years, I've been covering the American Athletic Conference's 6 new institutions coming in Rice, UTSA, UAB, FAU, North Texas, all coming in as well, and as well as UNC Charlotte. So I had the opportunity of unveiling a very special conversation that you won't find anywhere else with Commissioner Mike Oresco. So we had a very busy and fruitful day, and now we're happy to be here with you in July. And we officially welcome GG Cards and Breaks to the family, which you got that news on Tuesday of this week. But between Tuesday to Saturday, there were so many things that happened, I thought that was like a week ago. So I'm happy to have GG Cards and Breaks. Of course, Murph and I always do show and tell with our sports cards, so now we have an even bigger excuse to do it. Inside of MonPazPopcorn.com is what's poppin'. DT and Murphy starts off your week every single week between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Murph and I are going to be talking today about a bunch of Major League Baseball topics and the PGA. And then at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, lock it in every Monday. Every Monday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we will have the Saxons Spotlight, starting today with the president of Alfred University and the Saxons, Mark Zupan. So a lot of great stuff here. So happy to be here with you, and so happy to finally unveil that intro. Murph knows when you're creating stuff in the lab, you're doing it alone, and you're just like, come on, people. Can't wait for you to see it. And you're just like, you're talking to yourself and you're hyping yourself up and you're like, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be sick. And, you know, and then you look at the clock and you're like, I'm going to get 1 hour of sleep tonight. So it's definitely crazy. But Murph, you got to see the intro with the world. So what did you think?
I did. I think it was definitely time well spent. That's for sure. Like you had mentioned, it brings you back to the time you spent in the basement of the library, editing stuff into the wee hours of the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one in particular. Now this was partially my own fault.
Okay.
Because, well, let's put it this way. I didn't do it till the night before.
Yeah.
And it was for, I forget what class it was for. We had to make three. It was like it wasn't really a marketing class. We had to make three kind of marketing videos that were 3.5 minutes long, or 10-minute video.
Yeah.
And I did something promoting Camelback, just, something, because it'd be something easy. And I had footage. I had stock footage that I was able to use from them, and that helped me out quite a bit. So safe to say, those three videos took me from about 9 o'clock in the evening till about 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So safe to say, I was down in the LC. I was in the basement until 6 o'clock in the morning. And I got an A. So, yeah. I mean, it was time well spent. I was so tired. Because I had to wake up the class was at 8 a.m. Yeah. I'm sorry, no, it was 9 a.m. So I had 2 hours to sleep.
Yeah.
But after that class is over, I went back to my room and passed out.
Well, that's the thing, man. I mean, I woke up this morning. I have never been drunk. So I have never had a hangover. I woke up this morning with what I would consider to be as close as people have described to me. I was like,
headache.
Yeah. I was like, just
stomach doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I mean, I was just
room's all spinny.
Face down. Like, this was mine. Lethargic. Don't want to move my face. Just like, body's hurting. I was just like, nobody touch me. Nobody look at me. But it's like, and then you get on the air and you do a show and you're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get out there. Let's have some energy. Let's have some fun. So,
oh my goodness.
When you do what you love and you love what you do, because people are like, if you felt like that, if I felt like that, Dan, I would be asleep right now. I would just be away from the world. How can you be awake right now? Because, as I tell you all again and again, and I'll keep telling you until you follow it, do what you love and love what you do, and you don't work a day in your life. Yeah, I'm tired. There's a lot of things that go into this. However, I'm having a ball. So I hope you're all having a great day. Yeah. We got a ton of stuff to get into. Welcome officially to the Saxons. I'm so excited. I get to have swords out, swords forward. It's awesome. I feel like I need to get a sword to put in the studio to commemorate this.
That'd be cool.
Because I am a sword fan. And
you got to get a real one, though.
I know.
You got to get like a real samurai sword.
I know I do. And I just saw the movie Infinite. I know people, it's been out a couple of years, but Paramount Plus with Mark Wahlberg, I saw the Infinite story, and he creates a sword, and I thought to myself, after seeing that, plus everything else, it's time for me to get a sword. I do have the Green Ranger dagger, the original dagger of the Green Ranger, and I'm looking into my office from my studio. I do have that hanging out and just being awesome. And it plays music. It does everything it's supposed to do. So it is really cool. But proud to have the Saxons. So jazzed about the fact that I get to talk about equestrian and everything else. So a lot of great stuff coming up, folks. There's going to be all types of graphics throughout the show today. There's a lot of things going on. GG Cards and Breaks, like I said, they're officially part of the family as of Saturday, July 1st with Alfred University. So just
Are they sponsoring our show and tell segment?
That's the thing. So we're doing a thing. We're doing a segment called Same Hobby, New Memories. And so we can be an extension of that because I told them about us. I was like, I said, Murph and I just kind of like organically started doing a show and tell because we love cards. And I also told them, I was like, I think Murph's coming up in September. So naturally we're going to be here.
You think? I am.
Okay. All right.
We're doing that show.
All right.
I gotta reach out to the people because that's the week before I go to Florida. I'm gonna be down in Gainesville for Florida, Tennessee the following week. So I'm gonna have a pretty eventful 2 weeks going on right there. But
yeah,
I'm gonna try to remember to do it today, especially if I don't go play golf. Because if you see me looking down at my phone periodically, I'm supposed to play golf with my boss from work today.
Yeah.
And we're still trying to decide whether or not he should come up. And the weather is iffy.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where like there's nothing on the radar currently.
Right.
It's one of those things that they expect to just pop up.
Yeah.
Which could happen, but the chances as of now are less than 50%. So, just looking at the radar, it's saying like 50% or 40%, 35%, 40%. Like, there's a decent chance that it doesn't rain.
Right.
So, he's supposed to leave around 9:30. So, I texted him and told him, I'll leave it up to you. And I'm waiting to hear back from him because I think he's in a lesson or something. But, yeah, but I'm going to reach out to them either today or tomorrow about getting a couple of tables up there. I'd probably get 2.
Okay.
Because I know my 2 showcases, I laid it all out on the. So this table, if you couldn't tell, is a one of those yard, like the tables that you put in the yard and everything.
Yeah.
It's not a real desk, so I could use to get me a desk for my office. But regardless, this is an 8-foot table, and they're doing 6-foot tables.
Yeah.
So when I put all this stuff out on the 8-foot table and said, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna need 2 tables. So for this show I have coming up on Monday, so anybody, if you're down in the Lehigh Valley, come and check out the show at Sports Factory, the Lehigh Valley. Come check it out. I'm gonna have 2 tables running, so got some cool stuff. Some of the stuff that you've seen on the show will be out there, so that'll be pretty cool. But that show that we're gonna do in September, once we get the confirmation that we're actually going to do it, will be up your way, and it's literally. I believe you said it's at New York State Fairgrounds.
Yeah,
I think is where we said it was at.
Yeah.
So that could not work out any better. So that'll be and how far is that for you? Because it said it's in Syracuse.
Yeah. No, the fair is extremely close. It's like centrally located to so many different things. So it's a very. I've been to the show before. Like when I was like, maybe this is the one that he's talking about. So yeah, I've been there. I've been to the show before, which I'm excited for us to do it. So yeah, we're gonna do a sports card. I mean, same hobby, new memories is gonna be the segment, which some of you just asked about. Thank you for asking. Proudly presented exclusively by GG Cards and Breaks. And Murph and I in September are gonna be at the card show. I wonder if they'll let me bring some of my gear to put that out there too.
I don't see why not.
I wonder. So that'd be nice. Then people can buy shirts and hats, and we can sell cards.
Because I'm sure there'll be people that are coming to look for us. So we'll, people do that all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't see why not.
You can come out and see us.
Mm-hmm.
Come see us.
However many tables, and we can record stuff from there too.
Yeah, come see us.
Even if it's brief.
Say hello.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean any promotion that we can give them, I'm sure is good. So. Yeah, we could definitely. So yeah, folks, I mean, prepare for that. Prepare to come hang out with us in September at the fairgrounds as we're getting this thing set up. So hopefully we can get this all locked in and ready to go. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the opportunity. A lot of great stuff coming up. And GG Cards and Breaks, again, got to just thank them. Same Hobby, New Memories is the name of the segment. Just felt right. Because it is the same hobby that, I collected, Brendan collected growing up. And the new memories are the fact that, we're trying to bring new people in and we've rekindled our love for it. So we're definitely going to have
Mm-hmm.
some fun with GG Cards and Breaks. And I couldn't have picked a better partner in the fact that they truly embody everything that made me love it in the first place. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get Brendan to GG Cards and Breaks, which is cool.
Yep.
And the thing that's so amazing about it is not only is this a place that brings me back to my childhood for the best of ways, but it's also a place where, it's right down the road from where my grandmother raised me, and so I'm very, very excited about that. It's like literally when they say it's a trip down memory lane, like it is a direct lane trip. So it's really, really cool to celebrate my grandma like that, and very happy to do so. So with that being said, we got a ton of stuff to talk about here this morning. We're going to start with Shohei Ohtani, living in a world of his own. I do want to get to some comments here. Greg said, congrats, DT, on your big weekend. Thank you, sir. Michael said, congratulations, Dan. Your hard work and dedication made it all happen. I'm going to blame God above everything, and I'll give myself 0.0000001%. God really guides me in ways I can't even thank him enough. So big shout out to God. Yes, hard work goes into it, and the big guy upstairs more than anything else. Greg said, PA fireworks on the lake every night throughout the night. Ugh. I know it, dude. I feel you. It's like if you're going to light off fireworks, first of all, do it when it's dark outside, you idiots. Like,
Yes.
who does it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Hey, Billy.
And then again,
I can
who does it at
nothing.
11:30 at night?
Right. You can't even say anything.
So my parents were in Jersey this weekend, and I had the dog.
Yeah.
First of all, she's afraid of her own shadow. But second of all, thunder, fireworks, she's scared like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
She was bolting around the house when that stuff was going on, when the fireworks were going off. So I was upstairs, and it was me by myself. That's the first time I really had to deal with it. So she came upstairs. She was basically laying in the corner, just because she was scared.
Yeah.
And I had her come up on the bed, and I was laying with her a little bit. So, and it's till 11:30 at night.
Yeah, I remember last year they did it at like 3 a.m. It was like, I want to say no, it was between like, maybe it was like 2. And like, that's any better. And I was like literally falling asleep, and I'm going, and I hear this bang, and I just jumped, and I'm like, okay, my heart could stop. I mean, to me, it's like, it sounded like it was a gunshot. And I was like, what the heck is that? I remember just like last year, it was insanity. But last year, it just kept going. It was like, let's do it before. Let's do it. I feel like there was less on July 4th than there was like July 5th, 6th, 8th, 10th. I'm like, all right, idiots, stop. By the way, can I just point this out? I love celebrating our freedom. When other time during the year can a bunch of people that are not qualified or experienced with explosives able to buy explosives and say, let's see what happens? So, I mean, you think about that. The American society says it is normal on July 4th for your inexperienced, drunk, insane self to buy explosives and use them at your leisure. I mean,
that's why we are the land of the free, home of the brave. America, baby.
I think the only other place that's like, yeah, let's do it is probably daily Kim Jong-un in North Korea just blowing them off in his like mansion. But it's like, in what world? I mean, y'all know what happened to some people out there. I mean, it's not safe. It's just not. Leave it to the professionals. See, here's me. If I ever have kids someday, be like, Dad, let's do fireworks. I'm like, your father did those little like the dazzler things where you just hold them, and I'm just holding it, forgetting.
Sparklers.
Yeah, the sparklers.
Oh my God, I used to love those things.
And it's like, it's just like hitting my hand, and I'm just like not paying any attention to it. So just be careful, everybody. Let's not be stupid. Greg said the Scott Fish Bowl 13 draft starts next Monday. Both of you guys should sign up and attempt to get a spot for a fantasy industry media position. Slow draft, not much commitment, and flexible. So that came up here. I know Greg brought that up before. So Greg, I will look into it. And then Michael asked if we're going to do a full show about cards. And I said, same hobby, new memories is going to be GG Cards and Breaks. So we're going to have the opportunity to share that with you with Josh and Anthony from GG Cards and Breaks on 639 Delmar Place every single month, so don't miss out on that. And Ross said, have a great show. So, a lot of good stuff coming up. Murph, let's jump in to Shohei Ohtani. I believe his home run, the longest of this season of anyone, was 493 feet. The man is insane. He keeps... This is what makes no sense to me. He is a shooting star. The Angels are just like the rest of the dark sky.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
It's insane. But let's talk about Ohtani for a second, because wow, that man is just like a highlight reel all the time.
Well, if my mic would stay in place.
Your mic's like, you want to speak?
My mic just sometimes just wants to wander off into the distance. So let me just put it this way.
Yeah.
If you asked me a question about Ohtani a couple of years ago, I would have said, really good player. Can't wait to see what he does in the future.
Yeah.
Now, I legitimately think that there is a chance that he will be the greatest player to ever set foot on a baseball field. And that is not a far-fetched statement. And he might be already.
Big words.
He really might.
Better pitcher than Babe Ruth.
Better pitcher than Babe Ruth. So here's the thing. When he came over to the States, we all thought he was going to be a pitcher and the hitting was good, not great.
Yeah.
Year one, he hit like 25. Wait, what did he do in year one? I got his stats pulled up right here. Year one, he hits 22 home runs, has a 925 OPS, hits 285 in year one.
Yeah.
His MVP year, 2021, 46 home runs. He only hit 257 that year, really? How did I not know that? But even still, 46 home runs, 26 stolen bases, 257 average, 372 on base percentage. Now that's just hitting.
Yeah.
Pitching in 2021, 9-2 with a 3.18 ERA, 130 innings pitched, 156 strikeouts, FIP of 3.52, so pretty much right on pace with where he was with his ERA. And then last year, I know Judge won the MVP last year, but Ohtani literally could have won the Cy Young last year. Literally. He had 2.33 ERA, 166 innings pitched, 219 strikeouts. Like, this dude's a god. A literal god on the baseball field. And I can understand now why people in Japan worship him. Which is why I picked up a bunch of Shohei Ohtani's rookie cards and sent 4 of them in to get graded. They're not going to be back by the show next week, but hopefully they're back by the show in September. But what he's able to do on a baseball field is just incredible. And the crazy part is, up until this year, the days he's pitched, his mind hasn't been right when it comes to hitting.
Yeah.
Now, his best hitting days are when he's on the mound. And that's the crazy part about it. I love the fact that Shohei Ohtani is basically rewriting the history books in baseball. And he is already better than Babe Ruth ever was at both. And I think he's overall going to be a better player than Babe Ruth was in general. Because as much as I hate to admit it, because everybody thinks, greatest player in history game, Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
The issue is Babe Ruth played in an era where guys threw 82 mile per hour fastballs right down the middle. I can hit that. So, a lot of people can hit that. Now, being able to hit 99 in on your hands, almost 500 feet.
Yeah.
Not many people can do that. Not many people can do that. And Shohei Ohtani is one of them.
It's incredible.
And, I'm really looking forward to watching him. And I'm praying, fingers crossed, that Steve Cohen absolutely throws the book. Well, not throws the book, but throws his checkbook at Shohei Ohtani and tells him, here's a blank check. You write whatever amount of money you want, you can come here. I don't care how much it is. It could be $1 billion for all I care. You can come here.
Well, we know that the Mets know how to spend a lot of money. So I mean, it's not that they won't, you know. And I mean, if this was back in the day, and if Old Man Steinbrenner was with us physically, we know he's up in heaven, God bless him. If Old Man Steinbrenner was here, he would have been a Yankee, because that's what everybody knew. It was like any top prospect.
When he originally signed, there was no way he was coming to the East Coast. He said at the time he signed, he basically said flat out he does not want to go further east than like Houston, because he wanted to be within a reasonable flight back home to Japan. Now I have no idea if that's still the case.
Right. But
that's the one thing I wanted to bring up there. So I apologize for cutting you off.
No, you're good. And but I mean, you think about it. Back in the day, it was the Yankees. I mean, any player that was a quarter of this caliber, the Yankees were going to go and get, because who had more money than the Yankees? Who wanted to be in anything other than pinstripes? Everybody was enticed by it. It was like it was like a moth to a flame. And now it's not like that. So, I mean, Shohei Ohtani, Diamondbacks, what's up? Arizona's fun. Dry heat. Why not?
They don't have $600 million to give them.
Listen, we'll find it. But it's one of those things. The Rays would be like, we'll get rid of everyone on our team. Like, everybody can leave.
I don't even know if their owner has $600 million, let alone give it to him over 10 years.
Right, but you look at it and you say, okay, the Mets have the money, but does Shohei Ohtani want to play for the Mets? That's the big question.
Yes.
The Yankees have the money still, but are the Yankees the lure that they used to be? No. So, I mean, and this is what the Mets say. The Mets say you can play with Aaron Judge, or you can be our guy. Like, you could be the face. You could be the face of New York. How about that? You'd be the face.
He'd be bigger than Alonso. He'd be bigger than Lindor. He'd be bigger than all those guys. But here's the bottom line:
we're gonna get Jay-Z involved. All that stuff. We'll get Alicia Keys to sing a song about you.
Yep.
I mean,
I can count on one hand how many teams would have the money to sign him. The Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers.
All the teams that spend the most money this year. And most of them not in first place.
Yep.
All of them but the Rangers in the top 10 of last week. So, yeah.
I think that's it. I think it would be down to those three. I mean, maybe the Giants get in on that. I mean, they were willing to throw a lot of money in Aaron Judge last year, so maybe, but I don't know if they have all that money.
Padres, they keep getting more. Their money keeps
Yeah, but they've got three guys on $300 million contracts. There's no way.
Right. Well,
there's literally no way. There's no way they have the money for that.
There was no way that they would even have that money. So
that's true.
You know what I mean?
But they still got to sign Soto too. If they want to keep Soto, he's going to get $300 million. So you're talking about $1.2 billion on 4 players.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, I think historically, you want to see Shohei Ohtani, like, you think he's going to be a Yankee. Like, that's been probably a thought for, like, years now. But, the Mets have the money, and the question is...
Steve Cohen will not be outbid. I will tell you that one. I will tell you that for sure. He will not. If he wants Ohtani, he will not be outbid. If Ohtani doesn't come to the Mets, it'll be because he wanted to stay on the West Coast. I think it'll be either the Mets or the Dodgers.
Or it could be that he wants plain pinstripes. So I mean,
I don't think the Steinbrenners would fork over more than 6. I don't really think they have it, to be honest. And Hal has shown an incredible amount of restraint. And that was why we thought Judge was out. But then he called him and got him to come back to the Yankees and everything. But, ultimately, I feel like...
It's so surprising, though, that they don't spend money anymore. The Aaron Judge thing took forever.
So here's the thing. George was reckless. He won a lot, but George was reckless. Hal does not want to be like George.
George had won. George was like at the casino, just won, 500 grand on roulette, and he takes all his chips and he says, "Put it all on black." Like that's George Steinbrenner.
That was George Steinbrenner.
Yes,
he would spend so much money
because he had it.
But at the time, if you look back to when he first took over the team in the 70s,
he's got funny money.
Bringing in Catfish Hunter for the richest contract in Major League history.
Then
the following year, bringing in Reggie Jackson for the richest contract in baseball history. They won 2 World Series in 77 and 78. 1981, I believe, is when they signed Dave Winfield. Again, the richest contract in the history of the game. Then you get into the 90s. But the great part about the 90s was those teams were young. Those Yankee teams, I will admit, those were legitimately good dynasty-type teams. The 96 through 2000 Yankees, Jeter, Rivera, Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada,
Tino,
Andy Pettit, Tino Martinez, Paul O'Neill. Well, Paul O'Neill he signed, but at the same time, like all of those guys, most of those guys were homegrown.
Yeah,
were homegrown players. So it was one of those things where they developed those guys. Right. He didn't buy those 4 World Series. There were players on those teams that he bought that helped.
Yeah.
Like when they brought in Roger Clemens, that helped.
Yeah.
But, they didn't buy those championships. 09, yeah, they bought it. They did. Right. CC Sabathia, AJ Burnett, Mark Teixeira. Yeah. They bought that championship.
You remember.
And so did they buy the 70 and 77, 78.
Alex Rodriguez. They bought Alex Rodriguez. What is it? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, no, they did. They
traded for him with the big contract and then re-signed him in 07.
He was traded. What was it? He was traded for more money than George Bush Sr. sold the entire Texas Rangers for. His
I believe
was
it.
Worth more than that. So back in the day, it was A-Rod, which I, since 2008, copyright and TM, have called Steroid Rodriguez. And which I did in Scranton, Pennsylvania, on ESPN 630, 1240, 96.1 FM. Check the tape. So, but yes, Steroid Rodriguez. By the way, even when I'm down in New York City, around that area of visiting extended family in like Astoria, Flushing, if there was 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, and A-Rod was at bat, I was looking at all of them on the couch going, why are we watching this game? He's going to strike out. You knew. We watched one game, then we watched another game. I said, can we all get some dinner now? Because, I know what's going to happen. It's like watching a movie that somebody stole a plot from another movie because they lack originality. You're like, I know what's going to happen when they go to the basement. So,
of course.
That's how it was with A-Rod. I'm like, man, think about this. I don't even know if you were born. Maybe you were born. I don't think you were born. But I was in elementary school when A-Rod,
Seattle or Texas?
When A-Rod was drafted and Jeter was drafted.
Okay. Yeah, I was not born yet.
and I got it, and I got the Jeter poster, and I put it like right when you come in my room, like right behind the door. I think it might still be there. So, but I was like, my mom was like, do you want Jeter or A-Rod? So when I was a kid, I picked Jeter. And as an adult, I picked Jeter.
The thing is, Jeter's a more likable guy. He really is. Now,
when I was like a baby, something my gut was like, I like them both. I like Jeter more. And I mean,
even at the beginning of his career, Alex Rodriguez seemed like a little cocky, like a guy that not many people liked. But here's what I will say.
Go ahead.
Derek Jeter, likable guy. A-Rod, throughout his career, people hated him. However, when he became an analyst, I think he turned it all around.
Okay.
Now, people still aren't the biggest fans of him.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. He knows the game.
Yeah.
He owns at this point, he owns his mistakes. He knows damn well what he did. He knows that he'll never make the Hall of Fame. So he owns that. And I respect the hell out of him for it. You know, but people don't like him as much as an analyst. But I think for Fox, I think for ESPN when they do the K Rod broadcast with him and Michael Kay, I think is really cool. It's baseball's spinoff on the Manning cast, which
Yeah.
obviously nothing will beat the Manning cast, but I think, Michael Kay and A Rod do a pretty solid job. I don't watch them all the time, but I'll watch them occasionally.
Yeah.
And, again, it's every sport's trying to find a new Manning cast
Yeah.
because obviously ESPN debuted that and it was phenomenal. And I think it's awesome. And other sports should try that. And I think baseball's doing a good job with Michael Kay and A Rod. Maybe I would wish they would do it with another player instead of A Rod, instead of Michael Kay. But, nothing against Michael Kay. I just think if you're going to have a broadcast like that, it would be better to do it with two players as opposed to a player and a broadcaster. But that's all right. I think it's really cool. I always did. I never liked Michael Kay until the last couple of years, until I started to watch his radio show or listen to his radio show.
Yeah.
And then I kind of understood. It's like, okay, obviously he's the Yankees broadcaster. I hate the Yankees, so I thought I hated him. But he's a good broadcaster.
Yeah.
He really is. And I enjoy listening to him. And it kills me to say that because he's a Yankees announcer. And I'm sure my dad wouldn't particularly care for it, but
yeah.
Sorry, Pops.
But that's the thing though. I mean, I love and that's, I dated this girl on Long Island. And by the way, folks, if I go back on my timeline, this is very important to baseball. If I go back on that's why I'm bringing it up. If I go back on my timeline and like one of my brothers, one of my family, one of like my close friends was like, hey, you could hang out with this girl or you can hang out with me. I should have hung out with y'all. Like Brendan said to me, hey, if this doesn't work out, come see me. And I dated this girl and she hurt me. I should have went to go see Brendan. Then my big brother Joey came up to when he was driving truck for Anheuser-Busch, pardon me. And he was coming up and he came up to Syracuse and I was supposed to go on my first date with this girl and him and I hung out for a while. And she was like, you don't have to come see me. You could go hang out with him. And I should have stayed with him. So, but I want to bring this up because I think if I don't know if I should say this on the air. Okay, you know how Brendan, when it's like you meet a girl, but you don't meet her sister yet. And you don't even know about her sister. Right. So in
and
all
his
the
sister's
pictures,
daughter.
right. So she would like this girl, she'd show me like family pictures and she'd be like, talking about everybody, but she'd leave. I'm like, who's this dark haired girl on the end? And she would leave her out. She's like, this is my sister, and this is my mom, this is my dad. I'm like, who's? And then after like 3 or 4, I go, who's that girl? It's all my other sister. I was like, okay, all right,
Okay.
And so if I had met her first, I might be, hanging out on Long Island in a Mets onesie. I don't know, because here's the thing: half the but this is what I loved about it. This is why I brought it up. On Long Island, this is not uncommon, I don't think, but this family, big family, 5 kids, the family was split, like from grandparent to parent to child. They were split, Mets and Yankees. And they would just like fight with each other, but like playfully, and it was awesome. And, and it was so much fun. And I just think to myself, if I had met the other sister first, would I be married by now watching some Subway Series games? You know what I mean? That it could have happened. But that was like that's how I really got in tune with the Mets, was through them. And I like Jacob deGrom, and I kept saying in my head, I was like, they're overusing this guy, And I remember standing in the room going like, they're going to pay for this. They're going to pay for this. They're going to pay for the overuse of Jacob deGrom. And they did. And it was horrible. But the mom, I want to shout out her mom because her mom's fantastic. Her mom and I would have been an awesome mother-in-law. So Janice, wherever you are today, hello and God bless you, because she was the sweetest person, one of the sweetest ladies in the world. Janice, the Diamondbacks were playing the Mets, and Janice would low key. She liked me a lot, so she wouldn't trash talk me. She trash talk other people, didn't even care. But, she looked around the corner one day, and she goes, hey, Dan, how you Diamondbacks doing? Because the Mets were playing the big series, and I was like, Janice, get out of here with that. Like, don't even. I said, I'm happy if we win 15 games. Like that. That was a couple years ago. Now, I'm ready to make the playoffs. Diamondbacks.
Playoffs?
Yes. And I'm not kidding you. Playoffs? No. We're talking
about playoffs?
We're talking about
playoffs.
We're
I
talking
just want to win a game.
Yeah, we're talking about playoffs with the Diamondbacks here. So we're gonna.
No, they're gonna make the playoffs.
I hope
they
so.
will.
I hope so. We're gonna take a quick step aside. We're gonna come back. We're gonna rapid fire this thing. We got a few things to get through. We will talk about the Yankees and the fact that Aaron Boone has gotten ejected for the 5th time this season. What do we thought?
He gone.
And Aroldis Chapman going to the Rangers that are already in first place of the NL West, or NL East. We'll talk about, or pardon me, AL West.
You're right. AL West. You're right the first time.
I knew what my head was saying, but my mouth didn't catch up yet. AL West. We'll get into it in a second right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning and every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
Make sure you head out to GG Cards and Breaks, open 7 days a week, 639 Delmar Place, right off at Teal Avenue in Syracuse, New York. right by, within walking distance of what I consider the greatest bakery ever, Lincourt Bakery. GG Cards and Breaks, 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for packs, for individual cards, for graded cards, and for teams. You can go in there and find your Major League Baseball, your NBA, your NFL team. A lot of great stuff. Inserts, autographs, patch cards, rookies. So many amazing things at GG Cards and Breaks. It'll bring you back to your childhood on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Go and check them out today. With that being said, Brendan and I hanging out, DT and Murphy. Let's rapid fire this thing. MLB All-Stars. We don't have to get into all of it. We can get into more of it later, but I do want to give a shout out to Lemoyne Dolphin alum Josiah Gray, becoming an All-Star for the first time ever, Washington Nationals pitcher. What's up? So, a lot of great stuff. Big shout out to JoJo. Michael, I know you sent me a message. I appreciate you seeing the love for that as well. But I want to shout out to Josiah Gray. And so fitting, Josiah Gray goes from Lemoyne, becomes a pitcher in rotation for the Washington Nationals in Major League Baseball. And as he becomes an All-Star for the first time ever, the baseball team is returning to Division I for Lemoyne. So I think that's great news. I'd love to make mention of that. Any thoughts on it, Brendan?
Well, I have thoughts on a snub.
Go ahead.
How is Fernando Tatis Jr. not an All-Star? I don't get that. That makes zero sense to me.
Yeah.
How did he not make the? Let me pull up his stats real quick because he's having himself a really good year. 16 home runs. He's hitting 280, 41 RBIs, 46 runs scored, 14 steals, 867 OPS. You're going to tell me that's not an All-Star? Really? Come on. He better get in on injuries. But, another one to peek at.
Wander Franco, too.
Yes. Again, how on earth is he not an All-Star? It makes zero sense how he is not an All-Star. I mean, just looking at so obviously the starters are done by vote, right? There are definitely guys that are starting the All-Star game that probably shouldn't be. Orlando Arcia?
Yeah.
Come on. Listen, I'd love to tell you that Francisco Lindor absolutely should be the All-Star starter at shortstop.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't, right? He's hitting 220. However, he leads National League shortstops in quite a few offensive categories. He's got the most home runs, he's got the highest OPS, he's got, I think, the most runs batted in. Like, again, how is he not on this team? I get he's hitting 220, but still. But also keep in mind, each team has to have one All-Star. But Orlando Arcia, yeah, he got voted in, but
yeah.
I'm looking at the rest of the pitchers in the National League. There's guys on here that I don't think deserved it.
By the way, Marte from my Diamondbacks, second baseman, didn't make it. 13 doubles, 4 triples, 15 homers, 44 RBIs, 61 runs, 6 steals, OPS 867.
Mm-hmm.
So he's there too. Now, there are 3 players going from the Diamondbacks, so I'm not going to be mad about it. But
yep,
just putting that out there. But there's a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of Rays that weren't invited. What do you think?
Wander will get in with injuries. If he doesn't, I think that's insane.
Yeah.
But there's definitely guys on here that I don't think deserve it. But for the most part, outside of really Orlando Arcia, and that's about it. I think the voters got it right for starters. I mean, Jonah Heim in the American League has been a great catcher. He's been great for the Rangers all year. Andy Diaz was the one in the American League that I was a little iffy about, but he's had a really good year for the Rays. Marcus Semien has been arguably the best second baseman in baseball this year. Josh Young has come up and had a great rookie year so far. Corey Seager is back to being Corey Seager, the young one we know and love. Mike Trout, obviously. Randy Arozarena is quietly having a very, very good year. Aaron Judge, who is obviously not going to be playing in the All-Star game, so somebody else will be starting for him. And then Shohei Ohtani at DH. National League, other than Orlando Arcia, I think they did pretty well. Sean Murphy, Freddie Freeman, Luis Arraez going for 400. Nolan Arenado, Ronald Acuna Jr., who's having another great year. He's on pace for like 35 homers and 70 steals. Mookie Betts, Corbin Carroll, who is, I think, the runaway favorite for the National League Rookie of the Year from your Arizona Diamondbacks. And then JD Martinez at DH. But pitching-wise, I think they did well, too. Garrett Cole deserves to be there. Sonny Gray deserves to be there. Shane McClanahan deserves to be here. Shohei Ohtani made it not only as a hitter, but as a pitcher, too, which is pretty darn impressive.
It's awesome.
Pretty impressive.
So we will discuss those as we go, but I do want to hit Aaron Boone. 5th ejection for the Yanks. Thoughts?
He's a passionate guy. That's the one thing I'll say about him. And, Aaron Boone, I don't think he's a great manager, and it's not really it's not exactly his fault.
Yeah.
The Yankees, and I said this, I got 2 guys that I work with that are both Yankee fans, so I'll give a little shout out to Brian and Kyle. We had this conversation in the winter. Fire Boone, bring in Don Mattingly. That would have been the perfect fit to manage the Yankees. Now that Mattingly's not managing the Marlins anymore. I think he's the bench coach for the Blue Jays right now. They should still do that this offseason. If they don't make the World Series or win the World Series, there's no doubt in my mind Boone's gone. And if Boone's gone, I think Don Mattingly is your next logical choice. That's just me.
I think Joe Torre should have never been pushed out. So.
Oh, I mean, Joe Torre is creeping up on 80 now.
I know, but I'm saying back when it happened, I just was not a fan of it. I feel like Joe Torre should have been there until he didn't want to be there anymore. And that's my thought. But, Aaron Boone, here we are. Aroldis Chapman. Want to hit this before we finish up DT and Murphy here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora to start off July. Aroldis Chapman helps a bullpen for the Rangers on a team that is already in first place of the AL West. Your thoughts on Aroldis Chapman? Some people think he doesn't have what he used to have. My first reaction was a team that's good just got better and maybe gave themselves a little bit of security blanket or some safety as they head toward the playoffs later on. I thought it was a good move. What are your thoughts?
I think it was too. I mean, the thing with Aroldis Chapman is he has really built back up his value this year. And it's quite impressive how well he's pitched for the Kansas City Royals. The velo's back. The velo was almost gone with the Yankees last year. He was throwing, so for a guy like Aroldis Chapman who throws a flat fastball, which is why it's easy to hit, it doesn't really have any arm side run. It is a pitch that's relatively easy to hit, and when he's throwing at 97, guys can hit it no problem. Yeah. When he's throwing it in 104, 105, it's tough to hit. So Chapman is going to live and die with his velo. Once his velo's gone, he's going to suck. And I hate to say that about him because I think he's one of the better relievers that we've seen in my lifetime. But that was a big move for that Rangers bullpen because they're not exactly all that, well off bullpen wise right now. So I think it was a very smart move for them.
Yeah.
And Will Smith is closing for them right now. I think he's been okay. I don't think he's been terrible, but he hasn't been. Yeah, he's pitching to a 2.70 ERA, so he's been solid. Nothing to write home about, but 33 strikeouts and 30 innings pitched, 14 saves, 2.7 ERA, WHIP under 1. So not that surprising, but Chapman coming in there, I think makes it Real interesting. He's pitching to a 2.37 ERA, 55 strikeouts in 30 and a third innings. 20 walks, which is not uncommon for Aroldis Chapman. But I do think this was a great move for the Texas Rangers, and I think it made all the sense in the world for them.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm very happy. I mean, I think it's a great move for the Rangers. I think it's going to help them out in the long haul, and I think it's something that we could come back and talk about during playoff time, that this was one of the moves that helped to aid them down the stretch when they needed it. So, last note here, PGA Tour, Rickie Fowler gets a victory. It's been a minute. I know some people were hoping he would get the U.S. Open, including my father. So, your thoughts on Rickie Fowler?
Me too. That's initial thoughts.
Okay.
Give him a standing ovation for Rickie. Rickie Fowler is one of the most beloved names in golf. And he's such a likable guy. He has this like something about him when you watch him play and you see how he interacts with the other players. He wants to play well, but he's excited for the other guys. Like when Wyndham Clark won the U.S. Open, Rickie went over to him and basically hugged him and congratulated him. And he played with him all day, so he watched the whole thing. But apparently they're good friends, and for Rickie, it sounded like he was more amped for Wyndham Clark to win than he cared about wherever he finished. Obviously, he wanted to win, but he figured if he wasn't going to win, he'd rather his friend win.
Yeah.
So, but you could see it in his reaction after he made that putt in the playoff hole on 18. When it dropped, all he could do was kind of just let out a sigh of relief. It's like, it's been 4 years. Finally, we get another win. I mean, it's only his 6th win on tour, which I think is crazy to think about. I didn't realize he only had 5 wins prior to this. But he was 182nd in the world at one point last year. Now I don't know what he is after today. I'm actually going to look it up real quick.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see where he goes. Let me see the current ranking. Where's Rickie? Rickie Fowler. Come on now. He's got to move up. Number 23 in the world. So he is up to 23rd. He ended 2022 at 103rd in the world.
So
he was 35th last week. He moved up to number 23 after the win.
So he moved up to 23 and he was 103rd before that?
Yep.
So
Wyndham Clark is now number 11. Yeah. He was 163rd in the world after at the end of last year, and he's moved up and up and up the world rankings.
So think about
Cam Smith. Yeah.
So think about this for a second, not to interrupt. 103rd at the end of last year, 23rd now. He's moved up 80 spots in less than a year. Speaking of Rickie Fowler. In the world.
Yep.
80 spots. Pretty awesome.
You do see that from guys sometimes. I mean, just scrolling down here, Taylor Moore was 121 at the end of last year. He's 47 now. Nick Taylor was 257 at the end of last year. He's in the top 50. Jason Day was at 112. He's at 27. Wyndham Clark was 163rd, and now he's number 11 in the world. And it's pretty cool to see. Scotty Scheffler's still number 1 in the world. Not all that surprising. And for anybody who's a golfer out there, and this is the one thing I want to leave it on. Last thing, congratulations to Rickie. I'm glad to see him win. I hope he wins a major. I'm really going to be rooting for him at the Open later this month. But one thing that I want all golfers to know, and this is, remember, I teach golf for a living. So for me, it's coming from an actual coach, so this is a good thing. Watching Scotty Scheffler's feet.
Yeah.
If you look at his lower half, obviously he's very off balance. If anyone tries to tell you have to be fully balanced in order to make a good swing, it's just not true. Does it help? Yes, but you don't have to be.
Yeah.
If you are off balance, you want your off balance to be going towards the target, not falling back. So if you're going to do that, make sure that it is going forward, not back. That is one little teaching note that I'll give out, and I know we'll talk a little bit more about that here in the not too distant future.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff coming up. Rickie Fowler, congratulations on your PGA Tour win and excitement as we step forward. Some early fireworks for Fowler. So a lot of great stuff, Murph, as always. DT and Murphy starts off your week of Wake Up Call every week at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Mondays, and we carry you through the first hour at least from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time with some bonus minutes here today. Murph, I'll talk with you soon. Please be safe, whatever you end up doing. And
Will do. I think we're gonna give it a shot.
Good.
So we're hoping not to get rained on, so we're gonna give it a shot.
Well, good. Well, happy 4th of July.
You as well, and to everyone out there as well. Enjoy the 4th, and we'll see you next week.
Take care. That coming from Brendan Murphy here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and DT and Murphy, that comes to you exclusively on Wake Up Call, where sports meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here every single Monday through Fast Break. We'll be back right after this. And coming up in just a bit, we will have our to become the newest exclusive multimedia marketing partner of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll now have a weekly segment all throughout the year. The Saxons Spotlight, coming to you on Mondays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And they will start with our conversation with the president of Alfred University, coming up at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time today. Mark Zupan and I will celebrate the signing of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, and you'll get some words from the head of Alfred University. That's all coming up in just a bit. We'll take a fast break. We'll be back after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? This is a special message from Merritt Brady, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Watertown on 1290 Arsenal Street in Watertown, New York.
Chick-fil-A for me has always been about the people. I think it starts with the strength and leadership of the Cathy family. It's just amazing to see a family-run business reach the altitude that they have. Second mile service is something that we embodied at my previous business, and the ability to make people feel like they're the only person at your establishment, that you are there to serve them that day and looking for those extra ways to make them happy, to anticipate what they need next is what makes me tick. And I'm going to have so many opportunities at Chick-fil-A to do that. It's one of my favorite things to eat in the world. My favorite application question or interview question when I'm interviewing is when I get to, have you ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? And a smile hits both their ears. You know, they can't even answer the question for a second. And when I see that, it's like, man, that's going to be a great hire. They already get it. They already feel it. They already know that we're different. The Chick-fil-A experience, it's a real thing. And then, of course, just our generosity and community involvement and making a positive impact in the lives of our team members, our guests, and the community in general, I think is really the secret sauce.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful morning and happy July. Welcoming you into this beautiful month, and we have some great stuff coming up for you this week, including today being the inaugural episode day of the Saxons Spotlight. And we are going to be featuring their president of Alfred University of the Saxons here, Mark Zupan, in just a little bit here. About 10 minutes from now, we'll be featuring our first ever Saxons Spotlight, which I'm very excited about. Our partnership with the Alfred University Saxons officially began on July 1st over this weekend, and I got to do some cryptic messaging going up to it and building you up for it, and I want to thank everybody that's been so supportive and so kind, and all of your wonderful messages that have come through for the Saxons, proudly wearing Saxon Nation gear this morning, and looking forward to continuing to, we've just begun in telling the stories, and really very much looking forward to it. The Alfred University Saxons, like I said, 28 programs that I'm going to be able to cover, and I'm so excited about this opportunity to be able to do this with you, and so many great things coming up here. 28 programs, the largest that we've ever had in a multimedia marketing partner. You could go to their website right now, and we are featured as the main story. If you go to gosaxons.com, that's gosaxons.com, the exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, and you could definitely go check that out. You can also check out the article by going to wakeupcalldt.com, and on the homepage, if you scroll down, you'll see the article there in the picture. And if you go to the bottom of our homepage on wakeupcalldt.com, you'll see all three schools that we have exclusive multimedia marketing partnerships with the Lemoyne College Dolphins, as well as the Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats and the Alfred University Saxons. Now, looking at these sports, we have alpine skiing. That's also a first for Wake Up Call. They'll be covering it. Men's and women's alpine skiing. We have baseball, men's and women's basketball, cheerleading, men's and women's cross country, football, men's and women's lacrosse, women's rugby, which I mentioned, men's and women's soccer, men's swimming and diving, softball, women's swimming and diving, tennis for both men and women, men and women track and field, volleyball, and we have co-ed sports in dressage equestrian, hunt seat equestrian, and western equestrian. So a lot of cool stuff coming up here. Never done skiing or equestrian ever on the show. I mean, we've covered horse racing, but we have never covered skiing teams or equestrian teams, which I'm really, really excited about. And women's rugby, another first for us. So definitely looking forward to the opportunity of telling the story of Alfred University. I want to thank their staff for being absolutely incredible. All the coaches I've gotten to meet so far has been a really wonderful experience, and it was a ton of fun for me. They rolled out the purple carpet when I came over, and like I said, I want to thank the president, Mark Zupan, who you're going to hear from in just a few minutes here. I want to give a very special thank you as well to Mark Daines and everything that he has done in this entire process and continues to do, the vice president for marketing and communications at Alfred University. I want to thank Deb Stewart, who I refer to as the athletics director. Her official title is Associate VP for Student Experience, Athletics, and Recreation, and she oversees athletics. So athletic director is the title that, is commonplace for people to know. The leader of their athletic program, the title for it at Alfred University is Associate VP for Student Experience, Athletics, and Recreation. I want to give a big time thanks to the Director of Athletic Communications, who's done a tremendous job with everything from lighting to recording to pictures to, putting out the press release and everything. Chris Boswell, aka Boz, I want to thank him. And like I said, the coaches, I'm just ecstatic of all the coaches that I got to meet, all the coaches I will meet, and all of these wonderful programs that are at Alfred University for the Saxons. So I feel very blessed and very honored this morning and throughout this entire process. And on July 1st, 2023, I was so excited to tell that information. When I went to bed on June 30th, I wanted to wake up. Like, I went to bed saying, I want to get up, I want to do this, I want to make the announcement. I was, patiently impatient, and I'm really, really looking forward to everything that's going to come up here. I do want to make another note of our exclusive partner with Lemoyne College. I put out breaking news this morning prior to the show. So prior to 9 a.m. Eastern time this morning, I put out that Susan Kim is the new women's volleyball head coach at Lemoyne College. She will take them into the NEC, and she will take them into Division I. So that is breaking news. As of this morning, we were the first to announce it. And so Susan Kim, the first person of Asian descent that will be a head coach of an intercollegiate athletic program at Lemoyne College ever. So she's making history, as well as making the history of becoming the first coach for women's volleyball that will be leading into the NEC and to Division I competition. So big shout out to Susan Kim, who comes from Rider University. You can read her entire story by going to wakeupcalldt.com and clicking on the articles tab. It'll also be added to our Lemoyne page on wakeupcalldt.com, and it's on all of our social media right now. It's on Facebook at wakeupcalldt, where a lot of you are watching this morning and listening. It's on Twitter at CallDT and Instagram at wakeupcall_DT. The breaking news story that Susan Kim has been hired to become the new head coach for women's volleyball at Lemoyne College, bringing the Heights to new heights as they step into the Northeast Conference, aka the NEC, and NCAA Division I. And like I said, she's had work in this world of intercollegiate athletics. She comes with a history, like I said, being at Rider University, and has spent a ton of time, almost 2 decades in the collegiate world, and definitely want to give her a big time shout out. Very excited to welcome her in. I want to thank Lemoyne College for all of their help in the preparation of this article and the information that we were able to put out here this morning. So The new head coach was most recently at Ryder, like I said, where she was an assistant on the women's volleyball staff in the summer of 2019 when she started there. Most recently elevated to associate head coach in the winter of 2021. She left Ryder to become the assistant coach and recruiting coordinator of Georgetown University's women's volleyball team before returning to Ryder in June of 2022. And so has had a ton of success there before Ryder. She spent 6 seasons at Holy Family University as an assistant, with her final season at the helm at Holy Family 2018, which was the most successful in the history of their women's volleyball program. So when she took over as the head coach of Holy Family University's women's volleyball program in 2018, they had their most successful season ever, winning the Central Athletic Collegiate Conference, the CACC Championship, moving on to the NCAA Division II tournament, where they would punch their ticket to the Sweet 16. And while at Holy Family, she had all-conference players, conference all-tournament team players, 3 all-region tournament team players as well. And the team had a grade point average of 3.66 in 2016-17, 3.69 in 2017-18. Before that, in 2013, Kim was on the LaSalle University women's volleyball staff as an assistant, and eventually the interim head coach later on that season. She also founded Infinity Volleyball Academy in 2008, recently became its co-director, managing daily operations and the growth of the youth-oriented volleyball program. In 2011-12, she was the head coach of the boys volleyball team at Council Rock North High School, guiding them to a national conference championship in the Suburban 1 League and a District 1 AAA championship, rising to the top 10 of the Pennsylvania Volleyball Coaches Association PVCA state poll from 2006 to 11. She was the head coach of the girls volleyball team at Archbishop Wood High School, ending with a record of 79-23, a winning percentage of 77.5%, which included winning the Philadelphia Catholic League PCL Division Championships in 2006, 7, and 8, 2 PCL championships 2008 and 10, and 2 District 12 championships in 2008 and 2010. Her team would make it to the PIAA State Championship playoffs in 2008 and 2010, and she was recognized as the Bucks County Courier Times Coach of the Year in 2007 and 2008. A lot of great stuff here, and before that, she was at Bloomsburg University for 4 seasons on the women's volleyball club team, and she was co-captain and made the all-tournament team honors in the Northeast Women's Volleyball Club League Championship while she was there. And she already has a connection to the state of New York, as she has worked with the Garden Empire Volleyball Association, GEVA, Regional Team Development Program out of Massapequa Park in New York, where she serves as head coach, lead positional tryout evaluator, and court coach. So please join us in giving Susan Kim a celebratory fins up and a warm welcome to our Dolphin community and our greater Finn family. So big shout out to Susan Kim, the new head coach of the women's volleyball team at Lemoyne, and that breaking news coming to you this morning before we went on air. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, I will be joined by the president of Alfred University for the first ever Saxons Spotlight. We make history with the Alfred University Saxons right after this fast break in their inaugural episode of the Saxons Spotlight, exclusive to Wake Up Call, airing Mondays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time weekly. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com.
Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. This is a special message from 317 at Montgomery restaurant owner Joel Carpenter. Open Tuesday through Saturday for your dining pleasure on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York.
We wanted to be a part of the resurgence of Syracuse. We saw a lot of money being put into bringing people back downtown and thought that, we'd like to be a part of that. I love putting together a good dish where people see it first, they fall in love with it, and then it tastes just as good as it looks. We want to provide the best food in Syracuse that we possibly can, and we want you to leave here talking to your family, your friends about what you had to eat first and foremost, but also our service, and to walk out feeling like you're part of our family. I work out in the front of the house a lot, and I love walking to every single table, asking them how everything is, and people looking at me and smiling and saying, this is the most amazing short rib I've ever had. This is the most amazing filet I've ever had. And Donna is great. Sarah's amazing. Thank you for coming over and talking to us. And then them just being truly happy for the experience that they've gotten.
317 at Montgomery Restaurant, part of the fabric of downtown Syracuse, located on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday for a unique and memorable dining experience.
Dan, we're honored to be partnering with you, adding my own signature to our partnership agreement. We look forward to working with you.
Absolutely.
Go Saxons.
Very excited about that. Excited about the opportunity. So, looking at this, exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, and the first of its kind, I believe, at Alfred University to do something like this. As the president of Alfred University, what are you looking forward to in the story of the Saxons?
The importance athletics plays to developing our students as leaders, as team players, and to help them realize their purpose. About a third of our incoming students are student athletes. A quarter graduate as D3 student athletes. But then when you look at our board that's composed of our most successful alums, 70% of them were student athletes. So that tells you something about the growth, the leadership skill development, that happens here at Alfred University through our various athletic teams. Coaches are an integral part of our faculty. There are learning opportunities as a player, how to deal with adversity, time management, how to be an effective team player. So anyway, we look forward to telling that story and living our purpose of helping our students realize their purpose.
So when you look at the student body and you speak on that student athlete side of it, that the majority, more than half coming in, have that connection to athletics, just what that says about what you're building, because we have this wonderful incoming group of people, right, from so many different backgrounds that are going to be filling up Alfred University, but also filling up our fields and our tracks and our courts.
Yeah. And Deb Stewart, who you will interact with shortly, the head of our athletics, likes to say there's no growth in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the growth zone, and athletics provides that growth opportunity for our students. They bring the interest, the talents, but those talents get honed through their participation on our athletic teams.
How would you describe what it means to be a Saxon?
Living certain key values, integrity, identifying your purpose, something that you will take satisfaction in, but also does good for others. You get this important giver's gain when you realize and you live your purpose. And then being an effective teammate, and then representing our university, not just on campus, but in life beyond.
We don't see this, I hope that you know this leadership-wise, you don't see every president be so involved or care. And from the time that you and I first spoke about, knowing some of your student athletes and being able to tell us, for me to say Alyssa DeMillo and you're saying, oh yeah, she's done this for us and she's going to be doing this and she's going on this trip and whatnot. Why is it so important for you to not be a president up in a tower somewhere in a closed-off building?
We're a small place, and it's an important advantage of our institution. None of us here, unless there's more than one of us with the same last name, go by a depersonalized email. So I'm just Zupan at alfred.edu. There's only one Zupan here, and that's true. It's not something we mandate. It's just something that grew organically here. And as you get to know more of our coaching staff, you'll find the same commitment to the student experience, very highly personalized, and each student matters. We don't mass produce higher education. We don't mass produce student athletics.
I love that terminology, we don't mass produce. The Saxons Spotlight, this being the first ever to jump off our partnership. Before I let you go, how would you describe the coaches and the caliber of student athlete that we bring in here to Alfred University?
Incredibly committed to their craft of teaching and pride themselves on being teachers, not just coaches. You'll hear from students, as you heard from Alyssa with Coach Moskowitz, about late at night sharing particular philosophical insights, not just about how to be a better basketball player, but how to be a better individual, how to be a better student athlete, and with the emphasis first on student and then athlete, and that's consistent across our coaching ranks.
Final piece, why is your job fun here at Alfred University?
It's as close as you get to the fountain of youth, interacting with the next generation, so you can't find that in any other setting.
Keeps you young.
Exactly.
President of Alfred University, Mark Zupan. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Sam.
it. This has been a special Saxons Spotlight, and we look forward to many more in our partnership here.
Look forward to working with you.
Appreciate it.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, located on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, just off of Teal Ave. We ask you to go out there and take all the things you love doing as a kid. If you collected sports cards as a child, find your way to GG Cards and Breaks. It'll bring you back. It'll make you feel like no time has passed from when you were a little kid, going out there with your grandparents or your parents or your friends, that you're right back at it again. So GG Cards and Breaks, not just a sports card place, an experience, and a place that makes you feel all the feels you had of going out there, growing up, and having that. And if you've never had a connection to the sports card world, what a way to start things off. To open a pack, find your favorite player, get something connected to your favorite team at GG Cards and Breaks. Same hobby, New Memories, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, just off of Teal Avenue. We look forward to seeing you there 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, big time thank you to the president of Alfred University, Mark Zupan, for everything that he's done, not just in that segment, but in general. He has made himself available to me since the beginning. You know, our conversations have been wonderful, and I cannot thank him enough for his time and everything that he's brought forward. So I really do appreciate the work that he's done and that Alfred University has done as a whole. Mark Zupan here, being a wonderful, wonderful president. The first impression has been tremendous of what he brings to the table and of his team. And like I said, the experience, I went out to Alfred University last week. I couldn't tell you all that I was going out there, and I was so moved by it. First and foremost, when you get to Alfred University, you know, in Western New York, you're getting there, you're getting closer and closer. You come kind of over a little thing, you're going up a hill, and then you branch to the left. And as you're coming up, all of a sudden, boom, it's right there on your left-hand side. And it's just like right into this, I call it a mountain, but it's literally right into this hill, and it just keeps going higher and higher and higher. And so many, I mean, to be the institution that it is in their NCAA Division III, I told them repeatedly, I have to keep reminding myself that you're not a Division I institution. And what that means to me is when an institution is run well and there's tender love and care to it, and you have good people putting things together and working together and truly caring about each other, that creates an environment. And that environment is void of division. It just becomes, this is who Alfred is and this is what we do. And to walk around the campus, to see the setup of it, I mean, it's truly different than any other campus I've ever been on. It's very special. And where their sports teams are, it's like things are hidden and then it just keeps on going up and up the hill. You go up, you turn left, and you think, okay, this is the end, and I come back around. And it's like, no, if you go a little bit farther down, now all of a sudden you're higher the hill, and then you're up the hill a little bit more. Then you have something that looks like a castle. It's really a beautiful experience. And I had a wonderful first impression of Alfred University, and I look forward to everything we're going to be able to do together with their 28 sports programs. They're bringing in, baseball was a club team. They're having their first ever official NCAA Division III baseball team this coming season. Women's rugby is going to have their first season at Alfred University. And like I said, I'm going to experience skiing and equestrian and women's rugby for the first time ever. This is our first football team in an exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, so I'm really excited about that. Landon Spencer from West Genesee is heading to be a linebacker on this team. We did a special in recent history here on the women's basketball team, Melissa DeMillo. I was with her and did our Liverpool Warrior special on site on location that we do every month at Avicoli's. I had Alyssa DeMillo a few years back with the Liverpool girls basketball team. Then I did a special with her as a member of the Saxons women's basketball team. So already have a connection to Central and Upstate New York and to student athletes that are there just beginning their careers, and so many great things to come. So I'm really, really excited about Alfred University, and I want to thank them. You know, I want to thank them for their belief in me, their belief in my message. I got a phenomenal message from the Vice President for Marketing and Communications, Mark Daines, where he just, you know, wrote to me and said, we like your product, you know, we want to move forward. And that just meant a lot to me, to speaking with Boz, their director for athletic communications, and, you know, just hearing how much he cares about the student athlete and what it means, what they mean to him. And, you know, just hearing his story. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. When you talk to Deb Stewart or you talk to Mark Daines or Mark Zupan or Boz, they can just rattle off stories. They're telling you the person's full name, what they did. You know, this is what's memorable. This is something that we, you know, had, you know, individually we had this memory together. And when your president can say, oh, this player, this is their name, this is the team they're on, this is the major they're studying, and this is my memory of them, And Deb can speak on coming out of retirement to lead this athletic program because she really believes in Alfred University. We are barely scratching the surface, and I feel like we're going to be doing that for a while because there's a lot to Alfred University and to these Saxons, a lot of programs, a lot of student athletes, and, just head coaches and assistant coaches, and in general, a story to be told in the Saxons Spotlight. So I look forward to it. This exclusive multimedia marketing partnership was an idea almost, over 2 years ago. And I met Bob Beretta at Lemoyne College, and something inside of me was like, don't just have this be an idea, put it into writing, have a plan, because you have to bring this to Bob. You have to bring this to Lemoyne. Something inside of me was like, you have to do this. You have to be prepared. And I met with Bob, and we met right there in the lobby in front of Ted Grant Court. And, we had a couple meetings about it. Great conversations. His words were amazing. He said, I can't think of a better person to partner with and a better brand. He said that all the way through as we get ready for year 3, which officially starts on August 26th, which is my grandfather's birthday. My Pop Cavino, nothing happens by accident. And so I want to thank Lemoyne for helping me bring an idea into reality. And then Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse saw that. And Clay Gagan Sherman saw that, and Alex Grigorita. And then I got to go sit in front of athletic director Nick Dmitrievsky. And over time, obviously got to work with Danny Frisina and Tay Baker, Sean Peake, Brian Yurton. And I'm just very, very moved by Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse and everything that they do. I knew about Bryan and Stratton, and I knew about one of their campuses on Route 31 way back because I knew somebody who went there. And then, to just be able to learn about Bryan and Stratton and Clay Gagan Sherman. I mean, he came out to one of my shows, and it's funny, his father-in-law, who was his father-in-law to be at the time, Kevin sent me a message over the weekend about this and said, it's hard to believe that such a long time ago, Clay sent him a message and said, hey, the guy that does the internet show is going to be interviewing Coach Q. I'd like to go out. And they came out to Press Room Pub, and Clay came up to me and he was like, hey, I wanted to introduce myself. I follow your show. I appreciate what you do. I'm going to be the new women's basketball head coach at Bryan and Stratton. Would love for you, to be on your show. Would love for you to, cover us. And he really wanted to meet Coach Q. And, from there we built a relationship. And then he saw what we were doing with Lemoyne. And then Clay and Alex I didn't even know Alex Grigorita, the assistant AD at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, and the women's soccer head coach who's won a national championship back in 2021. And him and I didn't even know, but through Clay was like, no, Alex saw your work and he was interested. He's been a fan. And then to sit in front of everybody and to tell the story of what we were going to do and how we were going to treat Bryan and Stratton. Now they're considered small college and USCAA. And so, people that know the NJCAA junior college and stuff like that, you kind of think of USCAA small college. And a lot of people didn't know Bryan and Stratton of Syracuse's story, and to be able to tell their story and to meet so many incredible people and really get treated like a member of the family from day zero. And to interact with the players the way that we do, and to have all these roundtable discussions and panel discussions, and to speak with the coaches, and to say that I have built a personal relationship with Brian Yurton, and that the newest person to be on the show, the head coach of esports, I built one with Sean Peake, with Tay Baker, with Clay Gagan Sherman, with Alex Grigorita, with Nick Dmitrievsky, with the new campus director, building one with Mary Hawkins. It's and the leadership of Bryan and Stratton, I want to thank them too for their belief in me. Being able to tell their story and getting to tell such a unique story of a school that's sitting right there on James Street, around the corner from where I grew up, is really special for me. And it's really, really cool because I've met so many wonderful people doing it. And then we go to Alfred University. I could say that from working with Lemoyne, who was D2 when I came in, that we have been an official exclusive multimedia marketing partner of a Division I institution, a Division II institution, a Division III institution, and a USCAA institution for small colleges. We've hit every level of collegiate athletics in less than 3 years of bringing out this exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. And that wouldn't be possible without the Bob Berettas and the Linda Lemuras and the Nick Dimitrievskis and the Alex Grigoritas and the Clay Gagan Shermans and, the Mark Zupans and Mark Danes and Deb Stewards and Boz and so on, and the Craig Lanes and so on and so forth. Pete DeLaura, Sean Peake, Tay Baker, Danny Frisina, Brian Yurton. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the student athletes and the coaches that have given me their time and trusted me to tell their story the right way and to be honest and open and to feel safe. This is a huge moment in our history on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and I feel very humbled. It's unbelievable. And I just want to thank you all, for giving me the opportunity to bring something to life that is now a viable collegiate model for my company, created by my company, to be used anywhere in the world. I mean, we could cover any team this way. And I'm very, very grateful for that. So I want to say thank you to Lemoyne College, to Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, and to Alfred University. And to officially welcome Alfred with their first ever special today after making the exclusive announcement on Saturday, July 1st, the first official day of our partnership. So a beautiful, beautiful weekend for Wake Up Call. A lot of early fireworks for us. And, not a lot of sleep. But for the best of reasons. And I cannot wait to tell these stories and to be able to just really dig into who the Saxons are as we continue to dig into the Dolphins and join them in their evolution, as we continue to dig into the Bobcats and give you the buzz about them every single month. Wake Up Call has grown as a family, and our partnerships that you can see on your screen right now on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT and on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. We are a family of greater than 15 wonderful businesses. Carvel DeWitt believed in me first. We've worked together for 11 years. We have our exclusive Lemoyne Sunday there, the DT Dolphin, my Sunday in connection with Lemoyne. The Wildcat Sports Pub, we're heading into our 8th year in August. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, of many years with them, the snack capital of the world, in my opinion. Big time snack capital of Central New York. 317 at Montgomery Street, where we do the exclusive Downtown with Dan series where I taste test the food and tell you what you need to come in and get. We have worked with all of the Chick-fil-A's that have sprang up in recent history in upstate New York, from Chick-fil-A Cicero to Chick-fil-A Clay to Chick-fil-A Watertown. GG Cards and Breaks, who just joined us and brought me back to what it felt like to go into a sports card shop as a kid, and I didn't know if I'd ever get that in Central New York again. And I want to thank GG's for giving me that already. Pizza Man, where we do our exclusive sit-down conversation with the Baldwinsville Bees sports teams. The Wildcat, to mention them again, where we do our exclusive sit-down conversations with West Genesee. And Pizza Man and I believe, are in year 3, which flew by. Mother's Cupboard, the staple of Syracuse, New York. If you know Syracuse, you know Mother's. If you know Mother's, you know Syracuse. It's a place that people could arguably come in from around the world, definitely around the country. And I have an exclusive sandwich there, the Cuse McMother, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. You can get it 7 days a week. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich, cut it up and eat it with syrup. My own breakfast sandwich at the spot to go to when it comes to diners in the state of New York, Mother's Cupboard. So grateful to Pete and Amy and the team there. To Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding. The place that I trust with Lily, the only place I trust with Lily besides my actual family. I mentioned Lemoyne, I mentioned Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. Great Lakes Honda City, we're in our 10th year of working together. I believe we're here in year 10. The former Honda City of Liverpool, now Great Lakes Honda City. And it's where I get all my vehicles. I can't thank Great Lakes enough. And I can't thank the Townsend family enough for their incredibly kind words, including from Brad Townsend this week, which I will take with me as a feather in my cap everywhere I go. To PB&J's Lunchbox, the exclusive bringer of the Christie's Corner. Having an International Boxing Hall of Famer would not be possible without Pat Orr making that connection with Christy Salters Martin. Every other Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, starting off Wake Up Call. Christy's been terrific. Pat's been terrific. Their food is absolutely exquisite. I love PB&J's. I love their food truck. I love their cafe on 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. It's by the Thruway, the Highway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, so no excuses to get there. Avicoli's, the exclusive home of our Liverpool Warriors show. We just made history with our most watched Liverpool Leadership Lounge ever with Superintendent of the Central School District at Liverpool, Dan Henner, and the Liverpool Athletics Director for the high school, Ari Lieberman, to our newest partner in the Alfred University Saxons. We got a big family, and it's filled with wonderful people. And I cannot wait to see everything we're going to do next. Make sure you watch and listen to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com and Facebook.com that are both /WakeUpCallDT, WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, and all of these feeds are worldwide. You can pick them all up by subscribing and bookmarking our website, WakeUpCallDT.com, on the homepage. Right there underneath the dates, I always put the week of the current broadcast, so it's got this first week of July up there, and right underneath it there's the feed for Podbean and the logo for Facebook and the logo for YouTube. All the feeds are there, so if you click on the Podbean feed and it's live, it'll play live. And once the show's done, it'll play the most recent show. So if you go there, wakeupcalldt.com today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, for example, you could still click on the Podbean feed and it'll replay the latest episode, which will be the one you're listening to right now. And then you could click on the Facebook logo or the YouTube logo. It'll bring you right to the live feed. If the live feed is done, it'll bring you to the archive. So you'll be able to see everything there. Speaking of archives, we're on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Boom Play, and Podchaser. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. I want to thank the Lemoyne College Dolphins once again for being exclusive multimedia marketing partners of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, the first to do it here in our history. So much love and much respect from everything that they did, believing in me from day zero. I truly appreciate that. And we bring you AD and DT the first and third Wednesday of each month inside of Dolphin Time, which is Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And we also bring you Dolphin Dive every second and fourth Wednesday of each month with student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. You can find all this content ever growing on our Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com and by subscribing to our YouTube channel on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. For more information, make sure to go to LemoyneDolphins.com, and as always, fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can find your Bobcats every single month on Wake Up Call with our Bobcat Buzz specials, airing with student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year. You don't want to miss a second of the spotlight that we're putting on Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, a bigger spotlight than they've ever had before, with women's and men's soccer that have won national championships, women's and men's basketball that have advanced to the national tournament, and their baseball program we just got to cover through their inaugural baseball season, making history with them. I want to thank Sean Peake for making that possible. And, of course, the esports program with Brian Yurton. All of our content with the Bobcats is updated on the BSC Syracuse tab on wakeupcalldt.com and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt by searching Bobcat Buzz. For more information on your Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And, as always, go Bobcats. The Alfred University Saxons are exclusive multimedia marketing partners of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. The Saxons Spotlight comes to you every Monday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time weekly with the Saxons leadership as well as student athletes and coaches. The inaugural episode aired today on Monday, July 3rd, 2023, following our official announcement on July 1st as we welcomed President Mark Zupan of the Alfred University Saxons to tell the story. Saxons Spotlight will be putting a giant light on all of the beautiful things that the Alfred University Saxons are doing on and off the field all throughout the year in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. For more information on Alfred University, you can go to wakeupcalldt.com and click on the Alfred U tab. You can also join us on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt by clicking subscribe. And as always, we say, go Saxons. For more information on your Saxons, go to gosaxons.com. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, we want to thank you for being a part of this broadcast, and we appreciate you so very much on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. So thank you for being a part of the broadcast. Thank you for hanging out with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. New intro aired today, a new segment, the Saxons Spotlight, and DT and Murphy. I always have a great time with Murph to start off the week. So inside of monpozpopcorn.com is what's popping. Thank you to Brendan Murphy. Thank you to Mark Zupan and the Alfred University Saxons for putting your trust in me to tell your story. Thank you so much for that. And like I said, inside of monpozpopcorn.com is what's popping. You can go inside of Monpaz today and enjoy their amazing treats, their chocolate-dipped Oreos, their chocolate pretzels, as well as their kettle corn, their popcorn, their specialty corn, the premium with the Elvis, which is my favorite, the banana popcorn with Reese's peanut butter drizzle on it, to their cotton candy, to their lemonade, and so much more. You can get any one of their tins. I have my Jacksonville Jaguars one right here. You can get any one of their tins today, and by going out and getting their tin today, you can get half-price refills for the rest of your life, no matter what the size is of the tin. So make sure you go out and get that today from the awesome team at Monpaz. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you. Find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call_DT. And of course, we'll be putting up our gear site from East Coast Specialties on there, so you could buy gear from us. So please make sure that you do that too, because we definitely would love for you to be rocking some Wake Up Call gear, as well as Comic Book Trails, Superpowered Pop, Do Diz with Dan, and our company logo of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, which connects all of our shows into one with the headset and the microphone, because that's where it all started back in 2003. So I hope you have a fantastic day, and as always, God bless, no stress, do your best, be good. Thank you for joining me on this historic day for Wake Up Call with